Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. I'm Kyler Cheatham. I'm honored to be your host today from the Confluential. I'm joined by Adam Cheatham, our CEO here at the Confluential. And today we actually have kind of a special live stream where we're going to talk about utilizing more emerging technologies like AI for things like quality assurance and implementation. We're going to focus on our new selection tool, which is actually an AI driven shortlist selection tool that can help you get an ERP shortlist in seconds instead of paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to a selection firm. So talk about the different user experience. So we go in and it says like, let's get started. It tells you a little bit about the Hatch database. Tell us why you're considering a new ERP. So then you put in what? Take us through kind of that experience.
Yeah. So my vision for this tool is that people can talk to River AI the way they talked to me in the past about their challenges, right? I love having conversations with folks. Set up 30, 45 minutes, 60 minutes and talk about just talk to me about what's going on, right? Where are your pain points? What are your key requirements? What's unique to you? What is your competitive advantage? What are your objectives? What do you expect ERP to do for you? Right? Where are the areas you expect improvements? What makes you unique as a business? And how large are you? What industry are you in? Those types of things that are really the pieces that are going to dictate, 95% of what it is your organization is going to do. That's the idea. Because if you gave them to me, I'd be able to give you a list pretty easily. So why should you have to talk to me? Why can't you just get that yourself? Don't get me wrong. I'd love to talk to you about this stuff. I'm a weird nerd about these types of things. But if you put that information into our tool and you ask it the questions that you would ask a consultant, it will understand them and it will use that as information to be able to produce a short list. Again, a short list, right? I don't want to be out there pretending that I know the perfect system for you off of a very quick 5 minute chatbot discussion. That's not fair to you. You deserve more attention than that. You deserve the attention of software vendors to be able to make them show you what they can do and make them earn your business. But what you don't deserve is to have somebody make you wait an exorbitant amount of time, charge an exorbitant amount of money to simply say, here is something that my consultants got from ChatGPT. Get it from a reputable source that has experience in ERP and a database in ERP. At the end of the day, the questions that we ask are going to be, why are you looking at ERP? Why make the change now? What are your goals from ERP? What types of pain points do you have? How big of a business do you have? And what are you looking for? Are you in ERP today? What is your industry? Those types of questions are what it's going to ask. Things like how many employees, just the things that give our tool a way of knowing what the size, scope, and nature of your business is so that it can understand what your requirements are likely to be and start to help push you into something that's a good short list that fits. Encourage you guys to give it a shot and give it a try so that you can see for yourself. But the idea really is to give you a chance to have a conversation with a tool that can understand and provide you with live feedback that's easy and free. It should be free, right? You can get it from ChatGPT, you can get it from anywhere else. But the difference between that and us is that those things don't focus just on the ERP data that matters. They focus on the entire internet, which includes a lot of ERP information that matters and just as much, if not more, ERP information.
It is a chatbot tool, so you can talk to it. So you could do things like give an existing shortlist as well. There's things that you could potentially do to compare the two systems, but it all comes down to you getting that custom shortlist. And then you have a consultation call because we know that a shortlist only means a couple of things, right? And then you have to get really the human factor of business analysis
Yeah.
to understand those types of results. So this is kind of fast tracking you through going and paying a bunch of consulting hours for a short list that should really be pretty easy for someone to give to you.
What this tool is going to do is it's going to compare your requirements to tools like Sage Intacct in NetSuite, and then let you know whether or not those tools belong on your shortlist and what other tools do. Even to the point of a lot of times there will be tools on there that you've never heard of. or you're not up to date on, so you didn't think of them. And those are oftentimes can become the ones that win. I'm in the middle of an ERP selection right now where the client didn't even know the software that they're evaluating exists.
That happens all the time. Yeah.
Never knew it ever existed at all. And now they're in a spot where they're about to buy it. And what a great success story for somebody that could have known about that far earlier from something
Mhm.
that was able to provide a bit more information.
And I'll just add to that real quick because that's a good example. Even if you already have an ERP system and you're utilizing this tool to kind of look at other systems, it is an ERP tool, but there's nothing wrong with considering ancillary systems. We have, especially large organizations, often run two ERP systems or have an ERP system that's running core operations that integrates with an MES, like Adam says in this example of one of our clients that we work with. So, it's definitely something that you want to consider too. We are not any sort of software focused, right? We have no influence, nor we don't care what software you pick. If you pick a best of breed model, a monolithic ERP model, and if you don't pick any at all and you just need process work to enhance your other system, I think a lot of people forget that when they come to us, sometimes we say, the last thing, sir, you need is a new ERP system because you've got a hot mess of processes here. And that's just going to add a layer of stress and complexity to an organization that's already very tired of change. So maybe you can look at that in 2 to 3 years. But right now is not the time to do that. And Adam and I opened the Confluential under those pretenses that we built a culture that is focused on the client and the client only. Whether they're going to get engagement from us or not is not our first priority, right?
Yeah. Well, the integrity side of it, I think, is
Yes.
a big word, right? Like there are organizations out there that are going to tell you, I'm independent, I'm agnostic, I'm an independent agnostic ERP provider who's unbiased. Those are all great keywords. They sound fantastic. You know what they do? They run a sister company that takes promotional credits from software vendors that pay them for their opinions. They sponsor events with vendors. They take money under the table from those vendors for recommending this. That's all shady stuff. Done with it. And I'm not talking about any one particular company. I'm talking about many companies that I've had experience with in the past who come out and say, I'm unbiased. And like, well, then why are we talking about taking money from that vendor who said, I'll pay you X amount of dollars of the commission if you recommend our software? That's ridiculous. Am I here to say that we're not going to be in the mindset where we have our own opinions and our own biases? Actually, we're going to. We're going to be biased towards the things that matter, right? Some software systems stink. They just are bad. I'm not going to give a bad software vendor a good shake at a client that needs a good software. I'm not going to provide an unbiased opinion on that because I am biased in the fact that some software systems suck. You know what? Some system integrators suck. A lot of times, we've talked about this at length, it depends on the VAR or the SI or the local team. So you could have an amazing software, but a terrible local support team. We're not going to recommend that software because those partners are just as important to making sure that you're able to not only implement effectively, but then optimize and have that ongoing relationship, that ongoing support moving forward. So there's a lot of factors that go into that. This tool is to kind of cut through any sort of misunderstanding or bloating in those engagements where you call a bigger firm and they're like, yeah, for sure, for 50 grand, we'll help you select new software. And yeah, do you need some help on that? Probably at some point, right? But you can cut through a lot of that by saying, hey, I did my due diligence, I have this short list, and then you're able to have a main contact with our team and ask questions about it. And if that's helpful to you, that's great. If it's not, that's fine too. It's all about just understanding and lifting the veil around transparency and overall discovery for this data that is not influenced by any sort of software funding or biases. Just to wrap this up, I know, we're kind of over time. We're super passionate about this tool.
tool. The thing I would ask our network, if you're watching this, is please go ahead and give it a try and give us some feedback on it. Your opinions in our community is important to us. It's
Yeah.
an evolving bot. Every time we add a new data set or we add the existing data, we refresh it. It gives the tool better value to the marketplace. So we appreciate that feedback and welcome it in any form. You can reach out to Adam and I directly at adam@theconfluential.com or Kyler@theconfluential.com. We also have info@theconfluential.com, which you'll receive your shortlist from in that overall process. But this is an exciting time for our industry to start to embrace these types of client first technologies. And that's the overall goal of this conversation. Adam, any closing thoughts before we wrap?
Share this with your friends and come back. Right? We're super stoked about it. There's a lot about this that's it's impossible to wrap up everything that we have to say about this. We got so many questions about which system, which provider, this, that, and the other, that I think are fantastic questions, and we want to be able to address them. So stay tuned for more.